Happy Saturday. Welcome to another installment of our development preview of Client Planner, our IP cost planning tool for IP firms. Not to use the word IP too many times in a sentence there. Just a couple more of these sessions left. We're getting near the end. It's all starting to come together. We'll jump into it now. So, one of the things that we worked on this week was to help make our plans more accurate. We've added the ability for you to import a docket file. So we've had since the beginning of time the ability to upload a portfolio, which bibliographic data, application date, grant dates, et cetera, things like that, priority dates, which are great for creating theoretical forecasts. But we want this to be as accurate as possible, and so your docket file, has the actual activities that are going on. So now we can upload a docket file. We work with any IP management system that's out there, so it doesn't matter what system you're using. We'll be able to import your docket file, give you really, really accurate cost predictions as part of your plan. We match the docket entries up against costs in our system, so all that's pretty much automated these days. This week, we also worked on our client fees. There's a lot that goes on when you're putting together these plans for your clients. So we've added this sync with the portfolio capability so that you don't have to manually create clients. It actually reads your portfolio to determine a lot of information. And over the next several months, you'll see this really do a lot of cool things like determine filing plans for clients and average times to grant and all kinds of things like that. Let's take a look at Acme Corporation. So we can go into Acme Corporation. We can have some default fees set up so that when we do our plans, if they want to do 5 filings a quarter for the next 10 years, what are those costs going to be? So, perhaps they've got a special, cost of $8,000 for drafting an application. We also need to know what are their filing plans going to be. And so we give you the ability to create those now. So when they do an EP filing, we can see that they always validate in Belgium, France, Germany, United Kingdom. And whenever they do an international or PCT filing, we can see that they do national phase entry in all of these different countries. And so you can have as many different filing plans for your clients as you'd like. You can pick and choose. You can evaluate the differences between them and share that with your clients. So extremely flexible there. And this will be an area that we're going to continue to work on over the next several months, even after the release of the product. We also give you the ability to specify which particular firms will be used for the plans for your clients so that you can make sure that the right fee schedules are used. So that's that. So let's get in and take a look at some client planner work. So when we're doing a client plan, we've got a really simple client plan that we're going to take a look at now. The trick with integrating a docket file and a portfolio file is that we have to know when do we include one and not the other. And so we've worked really hard on that so that we know, this item or this matter is being prosecuted right now. So we use the docket file for that. And then for the future costs, the further out costs, then we switch to using our planning tools. So let's take a look at Acme Corporation and see that as an example. So let's do a plan for, we'll actually take a look at 5 years here. So we can see we've got some U.S. cases, China cases, Great Britain cases. I know because I made the docket file that we've got one office action response that's due, and the rest of these are all granted patents, and so it's pretty much just maintenance that's due. Let's take a look and actually look at the details of it. And so I can export the details. This is what we would send to a client. We're still working on this, but it's coming along pretty nicely. So let's take a look at this. I'll drag it down so you can actually see it. We'll make it a little bit bigger so you can actually read it. So what we're seeing here is we got a UK matter, we got a couple Chinese or China, then we got the United States. And so this United States matter is the one that actually came from my docket file. You can see that I've got a response to a non-final office action that's due. We charge the client $3,500 for that. And so that's actually coming from the docket file. These other items are all just forecasted. There's nothing in the docket file for maintenance costs. And so you can see that we can blend together our planning and IP forecaster costs with the actual costs from the docket file. We can scroll out. And so what we're going to give your clients is, estimates for Q1, Q2, Q3. So we can see that the office action response is with the due date, it's going to be in Q3, and you can total all that up for your clients. Down at the bottom, if you want to take a look at different years, 2026, 2027, 2028, you can zoom in and see all that. Since those are all granted cases, the items at the top are maintenance payments, but then we can see that our United States case that we're doing the office action responses on, eventually it's going to grant, and so we expect that there will be a maintenance payment that's going to be due, probably around 2028. So we've mixed together the capabilities of having the docket file and the portfolio, as well as all of our cost forecasting. Hopefully that's not too terribly confusing. But really the last thing that we're working on is a little tighter integration of the new applications and the foreign filings to make that a little bit easier. So I showed you the filing plans. We're going to give you the ability to do quite a few different things with that next week. And so you'll see that. And then after that, we're really just tightening things up, making the imports a little more bulletproof, giving you a few more options on the imports. And then we're going to be releasing this thing into the wild. So thanks for taking the time to check in on us. And we'll talk to you. Probably you'll see this 2 more times, and then we're going to be done with all this. So have a great weekend. For those in the United States, have a great Memorial Day weekend. And we will talk to you next Saturday.